big stars. How are you? Welcome to the channel once again, where we bring our intuition to the fore so that our life can bring us more. So today we're going to do a kind of continuation on the burning of the spirit papers or the Joss papers. This one is a little weird, a little different from what we're used to, simply because we're burning for ourselves, coming back with more. So the idea of burning for ourselves is a little weird and I'm sure very controversial, but I found it in my spiritual practices. My spirit guides let me know about this. And it's not something that you do, boom, right away. Not at all. Burning of your spiritual papers, Joss paper, is only after you've burned for your bloodline, after you have burned for your community, and one more thing. Your bloodline, your ancestors, your forefathers, your foremothers, and for your community. See, I wanted to make sure I got it all right because I checked with them to make sure. Now, what do I mean by that? We've done this all already. You've seen it in the videos. I'm just laying it out in a bit of a timeline. You burn for your bloodline, so those who are your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your mothers and fathers, Ibaye, your aunts, your uncles, actual bloodline to you. Even your great-grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, because some of you, know your history all the way back for quite a number of generations. Burn for them. Then you burn for your foremothers and forefathers. Those are the ones where you begin not to know. If you have forefathers, foremothers who came through the Atlantic slave trade, you pray for them. You pray for those who you're not clear about. If you know where they came from, you reference that country, that region, that place. You pray and you burn for them. And then you burn for, like I said, the general community. General community, you probably heard about, excuse me, Ghost Month, right? In the Chinese tradition, they have a whole month somewhere in August going into September. It changes every year because the Chinese calendar advances and does different things than our calendar, general calendar. So those would be people that are just lost souls. Here in the New York area, we see bicycles by intersections, corners, and they're usually painted white with flowers. Those are people who lost their lives, bikers, while, crossing that particular intersection. Not saying they're lost, but people like that who may not have realized what happened during transition. Some of them, their families may not be doing these types of traditions. Praying for those souls to find the other side, to get to their next level in spiritual elevation, to find peace, to find all that is for them, because it's different for everyone. Whatever culture you come from has its own mythology as to what happens afterwards, after we pass on and leave this shell. So once you do that, once you pray for all of these different levels, your direct bloodline, a little further back, and then the general community, now you can burn for yourself. Now you can burn and add to your spiritual bank so that when you transition over, you already have something there for you to pay any emotional debts, karmic debts, actual debts to people that may have also passed on, so that when you're there on the other side, you're not floundering around trying to figure out what's happening. You actually have wherewithal to take care of things that you may not have completed while on the physical 3D plane. All right, so now you're going, wait a minute, I thought everybody from everybody's different culture. Yes, everybody has a different culture. Everybody has a different view of the afterlife. If this does not fit in with your worldview, ignore it. Stop listening to this video. Don't even watch this video. But this is more for those who have a worldview that something does come afterwards. And I'm learning that what comes afterwards is not like what we think. It is way more levels. The Chinese believe, as I mentioned in the previous video, I'll link it so you can see that there are levels, that I believe 33 levels of hell. And everybody goes to hell first. And then they use this Joss paper to, in some cases, pay the gatekeepers at each level to get to heaven or pay off their debts. So in one of the first meditations that I did for my forefathers, foremothers, those who crossed the Atlantic, a mother came to me and thanked me profusely because the money that I burned for her, she was able to give to the gatekeeper so she can go to the area where her child died. The way it's not told to you, it's feeling and it's a sense of seeing. She died in one place because, of course, they were separated in life. You know how slavery was. So she died in one place and her child died someplace else. She didn't know where the child went. And after she passed over, she wanted to go to where the child was and couldn't get there because it seems where she is, where this ancestor is, you have to pay to get to another region, to get to another side. So the money that I gave her, she was able to pay to go to the other side to be reunited with her child so that she can find peace. And her joy was so overwhelming. I mean, I felt her joy. I was in tears. And that's when I first realized, wait a minute, are you seriously saying that the afterworld is more transactional than we thought, very different from what we thought, and that there are, it just blew my mind. So that's when they began saying, yeah, and you can burn for yourself, because what if nobody burns for you? So you have to do something, but you can't burn for yourself directly. You have to help others, and then you can burn for yourself. And that's where all of this came from. So you have to decide what you will believe, what you will think about, how you will process this on your own. Ask your spirit guides. Maybe this is a construct that was given to me because it makes sense to me. I don't know. Everyone's guides will show them and teach them something different for where they are at that moment in time. So this is what I'm sharing with you to help you on your spiritual path. But of course, there's work involved. There's always work involved, right? So I do hope you found this video interesting, gave you some thought-provoking ideas. Please do leave me some comments below. Let me know your thoughts on it. Let me hear what your ancestors say, okay? Thank you so much. Have a great, great day, evening, week, month, season, and I will talk to you later. Azurite 22. Bye-bye.